I'm just gonna be honest though, I did not have the average experience. Okay. Oh my god, what am I doing? So weird. Hello, people of the internet. My name is Jasmine. How are you? Billion times that I've been trying to film this. So, oh my god, American Airlines, go away. Hi guys, my name is Jasmine, and I haven't lost my mind, so not yet anyways. I have tried to film this so many times, so I'm just gonna keep going even if I mess up and whatever, because I'm just losing my mind and I want to do something different, a different video, because I've talked about this a billion times and never finished. And here we go with rambling again. Anyways, so you're here today to know if college is a good fit for you, if college is worth it, and all of that stuff. Yeah, if you hear like honking and stuff in the background, I'm sorry. I live in New York City. I also live near LaGuardia Airport, so turn up to all the freaking airplanes that keep coming down. And there's also like a little park over here. Okay, American, another American. First it was Delta, then an American. Okay, whatever. So anyways, oh, also, you can probably see the back of my apartment. It's a studio.
You can see everything in here, and also, just moved in here, have no furniture, sleeping on a yoga mat, so don't judge me, because I don't have my furniture here yet.
But once my freaking apartment's done, I'll do an apartment tour and be like a real YouTuber. Oh my god. Why is it so difficult to make a video? I'm not even sure why. I'm a podcaster at heart, but you're here to learn about college, and I'm gonna give you guys kind of my perspective, my take, because I'm just gonna be honest though, I did not have the average experience, college experience, so therefore you could probably have 10 times better of a time than I did, 100%. Because I don't really know many people who've gotten hit by a car 5 times while in college. Yeah, I have 1,000,001 college stories if you want to hear those story times, because they're just gold. They're just gold. Like, they honestly, sometimes I feel like my life doesn't sound real, but I lived it, so I can't believe I am not emotionally triggered right now. I'm going to tell you if college is worth it or not for you, or if you're thinking about going to college, if you're not thinking about going to college, if you think college is stupid, if you think college is amazing, blah da 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 da. I'm gonna tell you my perspective and all that stuff. First of all, I'm originally from North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina, and I went to New York, for school, and it was, I didn't know anyone here. Like, my grandparents live like deep into Long Island, so it was, I mean, I never really saw them though, because they're always doing their own thing. You go, Gramps. But yeah, I didn't really know anyone when I moved here, and it was really nerve-wracking, to be honest. I thought that going into it, that I was just like, because I'm an independent person, so I was like, adventurous, yes, awesome, but I didn't really understand what it truly meant to make friends. And I say this because I was an athlete for basically my entire life until college. I was gonna play college basketball, but I hurt myself and had an injury in high school. Hello, Delta. What's good? I'm gonna get into a later date about like my injury and how that actually affected me. And you know, I feel like not a lot of people on the internet talk about like what it is to transition out of being an athlete to being a regular person, regardless if you stopped after high school or if you stopped after college or if you just stopped in general, because it's a process. Like, I can go on tangents, but I feel like a lot of my college experience, when it came to being very stressed and anxious and having like actual, like, I'm actually have been diagnosed with anxiety like issues, so you know, but it was mostly because I like completely stopped training as much as I did when I was in high school and before, because I used to play on like 3 different basketball teams at a time, including my school varsity team. So it was like, it was very intense to say the least. But the whole experience of going from high school to college in a completely different city, was very interesting. Especially when it came to like making friends, because when you play sports, I feel like it's so much easier to make friends because you're a part of it. You're like forced into it. Like you're forced to talk to your teammates. I mean, and then your teammates have friends, and then you just like, everybody has friends that they bring to the table, and then you just become friends with their friends or whatever. And then a lot of the times when you're, K through 12, you're with people that you've known just like your whole life, your neighbors, like, just stuff like that. So it was kind of difficult for me, I feel like, to actually learn how to communicate with people. And even though I'm a very independent person, but I think college was great in that aspect, to bring me out of my shell and kind of exploit different parts of my personality and who I am and all of that stuff. I kind of just want to run through some pros and cons of school if you're deciding, or you're trying to decide if you want to drop out or stay or whatever. I'm gonna be honest with you, I have tried and thought about dropping out at least like 20 times, just because personally I'm in the communications field. I did radio production and audio engineering, so, and if you want videos on that, I can do that too. But yeah, I was just like, it just annoyed me every time I would do internships or whatever, and I'd be interning under people who started from the mailroom, didn't even graduate high school, or they didn't go to college or whatever. But like, just like most of college is just not, there's no point. I say this because you have all these different fields, all these special things, and it's cool if you want to do that. I'm all for it. But if it's something that you're struggling to afford, this is where I'm coming here and talking to you, I'm a person who will always believe, if you want to be a doctor, if you want to be a lawyer, if you want to do business, if you want to be an accountant, like those kind of jobs, you need to go to college. But as for communications, I feel like there's a lot of things that you don't learn in the classroom. You learn by doing. And essentially, I felt like I was just paying for equipment, to use equipment, and to be in this network of my school and everything, which is all fine and dandy, but like there comes a certain point where you're like, do I even need to finish, kind of thing. So anyways, I hope I didn't like go off on tangents. I like try to film this like a billion times, and I don't know if I'm going off on tangents. But anyways, I'm gonna go through my pros and my cons. I'm gonna start with pros and talk about creating networks with people. I think college is great for trying to create networks and possible lifelong friendships with people, because I met so many people who, they created businesses together, they created record labels together, they freaking did all these different things together and started their careers in college. And I think that college is a great, like, kind of like fast track, if you will, to creating friendships, building friendships, meeting new people. I learned how to network while I was in college. Like, I didn't really realize that I didn't know how to talk to people, and I didn't know how to network, and I didn't know how to do any of that stuff, and I didn't know how to be a true professional until I went to college. So I think that was a really great aspect that college brings to the table. It kind of just pushes you and forces you to get out of your box, get out of your comfort zone. Even if you're the type of person who doesn't like to talk to people, you'll learn how to talk to people and learn how to communicate better with people. And I think that college is a great place to find people. If you are someone who wants to do something with your life and you're a go-getter and you want to create and you want to find other creatives and you want to do like all these different things, college and university is a great place to go. I will say this though, there are plenty of other avenues that are cheaper than going to college that you can do all these things, because I have done them on top of going to college. But if you want to go to college, that's a great aspect. Another thing is to be inspired. When I was in school, I felt really inspired by my peers, because I would meet people, and not to sound like narcissistic, I'm trying to say this in the best way possible, but like, you know, it's when you meet people better than yourself, it really pushes you to be better, if that makes sense. And meeting people that have done all these extraordinary things really inspire me to want to be better and wanting to do better. And even like creating this YouTube channel, like I have met people who already have YouTube channels, who already are doing, you know, their own thing or whatever, or like being influencers or whatever it may be, and doing them. And like I met people who already have businesses that were doing well, and you know, they just wanted to go to school to like learn more, which is cool. Like I appreciate people who want to go to school to learn, because you know, you don't have to go to school to learn also, but there's that whole saying that you are the average of your 5 closest friends. And so when you go to college and you meet all these people who've done extraordinary things, and it just makes you want to do more. And I could say also that being in New York in general, I felt like doing more, just because everything here is fast paced. Everyone's doing something cool. Everyone's literally like, I met people who were like, I went to like a tea shop, and there was people who worked there, and they're like, oh yeah, this is my fun job, and their real job is being like a bank teller. And I was just like, those are two really different things, but like people like doing cool different things. People just like doing like whatever, you know, and I am so about it, you know. And then I think it's good to surround yourself with different people to help you grow as a person, and I think college pushes you into that. I met people who've never even met a black person in their life. There was obviously some things that they, you know, assumed about black culture because of the media and whatever, but it was cool to still meet people like that and be able to change their views for the better about just like black people, or like or just Americans or whatever, because I met a lot of foreigners going to school and stuff like that, and it was also really cool to like learn about other people's cultures. But like I just love learning about like all cultures in general, because you know, we're people. I think it's just, you know, it's better to be in more diverse environments, because you learn more about, you know, yourself. And I really don't know how to explain it unless you've been in a more diverse situation. But this is diverse from cultures to economic backgrounds as well. So I think it's really cool to surround yourself with people who are hard workers, people who think outside the box, people who come from different places and stuff like that, because it will build your mind more. And I think that like even moving to a bigger city can do that for you. My next point is, sorry if this video is getting long, but like whatever. My next point is, I learned to become a better writer. I learned that I didn't hate writing. I used to get bullied by my actual teachers when I was in elementary school, and I hated freaking English. Like, it was horrible. I hated it so much, and I hated writing. And then one day, I just like being in college, I just started like writing. I like doing writing, and I took creative writing classes, and I learned different parts of myself, and start, like, in a deep way. I don't know how to explain that better than them. I learned how to think bigger than myself. Also, just thinking bigger in general, because I remember even when I was in high school, I would apply to college internships and get them, and you know, even though they weren't supposed to give them to me, I was like, nope, I want to intern here even though I'm in high school. And you know, even in college, I like became a freelancer, and it was such a great feeling to know that it doesn't matter like what everyone else says, like you have to, like there's people who are like, oh, you have to do things in a certain order for you to be successful and blah blah blah, but there's freaking no order. You do whatever you want and do it. You're not too old, you're not too young, you can do it whenever you want. I'm tired of people saying like, oh, I'm just a freshman so I can't do anything. Like, no, I was freelancing with companies within my field since I was a freshman in college. So that was it. Really, like, college made me think bigger about doing stuff like that, knowing that it doesn't matter what age you are, it doesn't matter, like, you know, just because someone puts an obstacle for you doesn't mean you can't overcome it. And don't make excuses for yourself. I mean, excuses are tools of incompetence to build monuments of nothingness. So therefore, that's a quote. I forget who it's by, but I just remember it from freaking middle school. So getting into the cons. I'm just gonna run through these cons right quick because this video is getting a little long, but college is emotionally triggering. From professors to past roommates to racially being profiled, and public safety, BS, being on crutches. I was on crutches as a freshman. Don't do that. That's my biggest, if I had to tell anyone in life when to not be on crutches, it would be freshman year of college. That just really sucks. I got hit by a car 5 times while I was in college, only on my college campus. That was fun. Yeah, 2 of the times I was on crutches, so what can I do? I can't freaking run. So one other time I was walking and there was 10 other people there too walking across the street, and this lady literally hits me. And then the last 2 times I was on a bike, and all of these times I was at a crosswalk. So if you learn anything from this, make sure you look both ways, and also yeah, just be cautious, because people don't give a crap, like regardless if you're on a sidewalk, on a crosswalk, or anything like that. My other con was the mental stress of being perfect, and I actually talked to a lot of people about this, and it's like, you know, companies, especially when you go out to intern, companies feel like, you know, you can do anything, and like they want you to be able to do as much as you humanly possibly can, and then sometimes it's still not enough. And I mean this because, like, I was a full-time student. I worked 3 jobs plus an internship plus being on electoral boards, plus being on electoral boards of clubs. And I also worked for admissions. I worked in the radio station, and, you know, I'm currently still unemployed. But it's just like, you know, I've done so many of these things and it's still not good enough. And I know people who've done even more than me. And honestly, kudos to anyone who does more, because I did like a lot. I literally would never sleep. I would hardly eat half the time because I wouldn't have time to cook. I would also I would be like trying to go to my internship that would be unpaid some of the times. And I would, you know, debate between having a meal or paying for my train ticket to get to my internship. And obviously I paid for my train ticket to get to my internship. So, you know, the mental stress is there, and it's a serious thing. And I know people who, I know actually a lot of people who ended up going home mid-semester because they couldn't take, like, the mental stress of college. It's like ridiculous. And I think that you should do what you can and don't do more than that. Do not allow, the people around you to influence you to do more than what you can do as well, because that's a thing. And then also, just like the stress about financial aid, I can't tell you how many times I have screamed at a financial aid advisor or the registrar or whatever advisors, because they, first of all, they lie to you and they don't know what they're doing. They don't know, like, at least at my school, they literally like lie to people. I worked one of my jobs, I worked on campus event management department, so I teched a lot of oopsies. Okay, yeah, I teched a lot of the events or whatever that went on campus, especially admissions events, and I also worked in admissions, so as a volunteer. So I know all the things, all the freaking lies that they tell people about financial aid, and how they're like, oh, we try to help the best that you can, da 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 da. And I'm like, no, you didn't, because I read off, there was like 100 or something scholarships that I was qualified for that they didn't want to give me because of the stupidest reasons. And I met all the qualifications, and like a lot of times they were like, yeah, like, you only get it as a freshman, and then if you lose it, you lose it forever, and you can't get any more scholarships as an upperclassman. And they would give me all these freaking lies, because I know they're lies, because I know plenty of people who don't have that issue. I know plenty, like, these are just simple things that were just, like, extra stress on top of working 3 jobs, interning, full-time student, the whole shebang. That was just a mental thing that was just like, that's the stuff that kept me up at night. And I genuinely, every semester, at the end of the semester, I didn't know if I was coming back the next semester because of that stress. And then also the mental stress of professors legitimately holding people's grades over their heads, as if that was like okay. I say this because I know many people to go above and beyond for their professor, so that their professor gives them a good grade, so it doesn't affect their financial aid, so that they can still go to the school. And some professors, it's just so messed up. And then when the professor has tenure, Lord, it's like they all lose their freaking minds. There's been sexual harassment things that have gone on. There has been just straight up, I've had professors cuss me out straight up for stuff. There's been racist things that have been said, and I'm not really trying to get into like race topics as much, because that's not what I want my channel to be about. But it's been a very prominent thing that keeps happening, and I just like want it to be known and said that it's not okay. Like, for a professor to tell, like, I've had professors tell me that, when we're assigning projects that they want to do features on or something like that, and they tell their student, like, I was one of 2 black students in the class one time, and everyone else got to pick, sports, or like, I don't know, the freaking Why It Rains or something else. And, I really wanted to do my project on feminism because I'm a huge feminist. And I was told to do my entire projects, almost all of my projects for my actual major that I've ever had with certain professor on like Black Lives Matter stuff. And it's not that I don't, like, I'm not here for the movements or anything like that, but it becomes like really redundant after a while yes, I digress. And then I came into college, here's my last con, is that I came into college feeling so inspired, feeling like I was going to take over the world, I was going to do all these great things, and then I'm leaving college emotionally drained, really confused. I don't even know what I want to do with my life anymore. And so yeah, that's why we're here on YouTube, because I'm just like, I literally just rather just rant to someone about my entire triggering college experience, than to sit up here and just stare at a freaking wall and not know what to do with my life. And here we are. But yeah, I hope all of these things have helped you kind of decide what you want to do. I don't want you guys to feel like super discouraged to go to college. Just know that I didn't have the average experience. I have had roommates call the police on me because they wanted to sleep in the room alone, even though we're paying for a double. I've had, I got hit by a car 5 times. I've had roommates literally try to kill me. Honestly, I should really just sit down and go through the amount of different things that have happened to me in college and then make videos on all of them. But I don't want you to feel discouraged to get in your education, because it's very important. If that's something that's really important to you to do it, because education is important. But just know that education and learning isn't found in just one aspect of life. And I believe there's 3 different types of learning. There's street smarts there, and where it's common sense stuff that I feel like everyone should know how to do and learn. And then there's book smarts, which is what you learn in school and whatever. And then I also believe that there's something called self-education, and I can make a whole other video about this. But being self-educated, I think, is the most important thing of life, because this is the stuff that you're not going to learn in school. This is the stuff that you can't learn from your parents or your friends. Self-education is how you go about and you do the extra mile to improving yourself. So, go away, Delta. Anyways, I hope this video was informative. I hope if you made it this far in the video, kudos to you. I hope that all these things can help you decide if you want to go to college, continue college, whatever. And if you want me to do a follow-up video on this, I will. Thank you so much for watching, listening, being awesome, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Okay, so, oh yeah, follow me at DJ Panic Attack. And, I think that's it. RIP.